Brooklyn, New York, 1960. It's nearly dawn, and 5-year-old Selma Sirik is asleep in her bed, when suddenly, she is awoken by an event that will have a profound impact on the rest of her life.
I heard a thump, and I see this small individual that I thought was maybe a child. I was 5 years old and of average height, and this person was smaller than me. And he turns around, like suddenly, and I stop in my track. His eyes are large, but actually quite beautiful in some way. They kind of look like they're wet and luminous, and not frightening. But of course, I've never seen an individual like this with a dent in the top of the head and a pointy chin. So having a sort of an insect-like face, but still childlike. And it turned out there were 2 individuals. They were performing an exam right through the blanket. Mostly what I remember, my arms and my legs. They were just looking and holding them. They had a conversation of some kind between the 2 of them.
The encounters continued sporadically throughout Selma's childhood. But as she entered her 20s, her experiences took on a new dimension. According to Selma, the beings began taking her to a place she calls simply the classroom.
I have experienced many episodes of being put in a classroom. And I don't know if the classrooms are holographic or if they're inside a craft, but it feels real. The teaching was done via a screen, and it could be anything from cosmology, archaeology, ancient documents that apply to science today. And they would show you how early groups of humans had this knowledge, and they would show how humanity evolved with assistance. We have been completely assisted. They had an agenda, they were performing it, and I think it's for mankind, for humanity's benefit.
Selma Sirik's extraordinary account resonates strongly not only with abduction researchers, but also with ancient astronaut theorists. A key tenet of the ancient astronaut theory is that humans are the creation of extraterrestrial visitors.
The ancient astronaut theory proposes that humans are the result of a genetic modification that extraterrestrials performed on Homo sapiens thousands of years ago. And these visitors then conveyed important information to our ancestors to help accelerate the advancement of civilization. And sometimes they even took certain people off Earth to give them this special knowledge. So what's really interesting about these modern-day abductions is the fact that we have similar stories in ancient times.
This abduction phenomena goes all the way back to the Bible. There's the story of Elijah who ascends into the heavens, the story of Enoch who's taken up into heaven by the archangel Michael.
Enoch was said to have been taken up into the heavens, and there he received knowledge by the so-called angels. For example, that angel showed him out the window and said, the moon that you can see is full of light, but the moon receives the light from the sun. So, this has been happening for thousands of years.
Could it be that extraterrestrials are abducting humans in order to relay information, just as ancient astronaut theorists believe happened thousands of years ago? Numerous experiencers have claimed to receive information from an otherworldly source in a variety of ways. While Selma Sirik describes being taught in a classroom-type setting, author Whitley Strieber claims that advanced knowledge is communicated to him by means of an alien implant. He believes the device was implanted in his ear during an encounter that occurred 4 years after the publication of his autobiographical novel, Communion.
It was about 11 o'clock. I somehow ended up lying on my right side, and there was something pushing my head down into the pillow in waves. There were these dark figures standing around. A few minutes later, there was a flash of light, and they were gone. A few days after, it became clear that there was something in my ear because you could feel it. And it hadn't been there before. My immediate response was, my God, they're tracking me. I want this out of my head.
For years, Whitley had no idea what the purpose of the implant might be. But then, one day, it suddenly activated.
The ear gets warm. You can feel it. There's this little slit that opens up in my eye, and I can see words racing past in it. The result is that I can write the most detailed things about genetics and so forth. I wouldn't have been able to do that without the implant.